This past year was an exciting time for Wisconsin.
The state helped re-elect a president.
Now's the time to keep pushing forward.
And kept its governor in office despite a recall.
Voters really do want leaders who stand up and make the tough decisions.
There were stories which literally shook the ground. And others were inspirational to so many.
I gotta land pretty quick. My gas gauge shows nothing.
So join us now as Fox 11 recalls and remembers 2012. And thanks for joining us for this year of recall and review. I'm Tom Milburn.
And I'm Michelle Melby. Now, while a number of memorable events did happen in 2012, there was one thing that no one could get away from.
One word: elections. And the results of those elections will affect the state into 2013 and well beyond. So let's recall and remember what you decided in 2012.
If we win Wisconsin, we win.
2012 was the year of the election in Wisconsin. 6 times: February 21st, April 3rd, May 8th, June 5th, August 14th, and finally November 6th. Add them up, and the State Elections Board reports Wisconsin voters overall cast roughly 9 million votes for local, state, and national candidates during the year.
You want to see voters get out and participate in the process, and they did that.
Most notably, for a 7th consecutive time, voting in November for the Democratic candidate for president. This time, Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes helping re-elect Barack Obama, although by a significantly smaller margin than his 14-point win in 2008. And analysts suggested some consolation for Republicans.
Romney was able to push the map back to a traditional Wisconsin-looking map where the Democrats have an edge, but the Republicans do respectably in these parts of the state.
And Wisconsin was at the center of the campaigning right up until Election Day. How crucial was the state? Well, the candidates were here.
It's good to be back in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
So were their spouses.
You all seem pretty fired up and ready to go.
And campaign surrogates, including a former president.
We're going to build a new, modern, 21st century economy that everybody in Wisconsin who's willing to work hard can be a part of.
In the campaign's home stretch, more television ads were run in the Green Bay market than any other market in the country. Statewide over the entire campaign, spending is estimated at $48 million.
We're not probably as important as Ohio in terms of what both campaigns are doing, but we're right up there.
The statewide Democratic majority vote also swept Wisconsin's first female U.S. Senator into office, Tammy Baldwin.
I didn't run to make history. I ran to make a difference.
And while the national stage certainly took the spotlight for the last half of the year, the first half was dominated by an unprecedented recall election that cost state taxpayers $7 million. In June, for the first time ever, a Wisconsin governor had to face voters during a term. In this case, Scott Walker faced Democrat Tom Barrett again, and won again.
Now it is time to move on and move forward in Wisconsin.
With one successful recall, Democrats briefly gained control of the state Senate, only to lose that control in November.
We're very pleased to take the majority back in the state Senate. It allows us to work with the Republican Assembly, which was also retained.
Looking ahead, while there will be plenty of local spring elections, 2013 is shaping up as a rather tame election year compared to the unprecedented 2012. Now, the 2012 presidential election certainly had a Wisconsin flavor to it.
I was raised on the Packers, Badgers, Bucks, and Brewers.
In August, Mitt Romney tabbed Janesville Congressman Paul Ryan to be his Republican running mate. Ryan campaigned a number of times in the state, including a stop in Ashwaubenon. Unfortunately for Republicans, though, Ryan did not help Romney win either Wisconsin or the presidency.
Now, politics aside, there have also been plenty of big news stories that we have covered in the past year. Some were heartbreaking. Several caught the attention of the national media, and all of them had a big impact in our area.
One of the biggest news stories of the year happened on February 3rd, involving a murder-suicide on the east side of De Pere.
I don't know the answer.
Police can only speculate why on that day, Dennis Bay shot and killed his wife Michelle and their 2 young children, 14-year-old Andrea and 10-year-old Daniel. He then shot and killed himself.
I think if you look at the big picture and you see that all the stress in their life from different aspects, and then you have maybe a final ultimatum, perhaps. It's time to leave, and maybe that's what it was.
There were 2 mass shootings in the state that we covered, and in both cases the gunman shot himself. One happened August 5th in Oak Creek at the Sikh Temple. 40-year-old Wade Michael Page went on a shooting rampage, killing 6 people. He also injured 3 others before turning the gun on himself. The second mass shooting happened at a salon in the Milwaukee area. 45-year-old Radcliffe Houghton was the gunman. His estranged wife worked at that salon and died in the shooting. 7 others were injured. In Campbellsport, 3 young women were killed in a car crash. Sabrina Stahl, Katie Berg, and Caitlin Scannell were all friends, out with others for a night of fun. The SUV they were traveling in, authorities say, was going about 100 miles per hour, lost control and crashed. The driver, Carly Ottery, was sentenced to a year in jail, but will be allowed to go to school and work. The year also brought some major changes for the downtown Green Bay area. Schreiber Foods announced it would be moving its corporate headquarters and global technology center there. A new $50 million building is currently being built on the site of the former Port Plaza Mall.
We're hopeful that this will be a catalyst for the redevelopment of downtown Green Bay and bring additional businesses and amenities to downtown.
Green Bay leaders also became tangled in a lawsuit with the Oneida Nation involving a proposed trash-to-energy plant. Originally, the plan had been okayed by city leaders, but after a year and a half, council members voted again and revoked the permit. And maybe the strangest or most talked about story came out of Clintonville. Sounds like these. Had residents and others buzzing about what these rumblings could possibly be.
It's like somebody's blasting water holes with dynamite.
The U.S. Geological Survey confirmed that a 1.5 magnitude earthquake did hit Wapaka County on March 20th, but reports of the booming began before and continued after that date.
Weather is always a newsmaker, and after an early May deluge that caused some flooding, most of Wisconsin basically dried up through the summer. Through the rest of May and then June and most of July, we had no significant widespread precipitation, this dry spell coinciding with a crucial time for crop growth, and some farmers even had to till their fields, losing their crops. However, most of northeast Wisconsin were spared at the last moment when widespread rains returned in mid-July and continued into August. Now, while a large part of the growing season was dry, December has seen some significant weather. On the 10th, Winter Storm Allen hit the area, the first storm of the season, dropping about 4 inches of snow in the Green Bay area. And then on the 20th, Blizzard Brianna coming to northeast Wisconsin. Snow totals differing greatly across the area. Green Bay, 9.5 inches of snow. However, places like Oakfield and Fond du Lac County, up to 15. And on the lakeshore, Brianna started as rain, meaning snow totals were significantly lower. Inside here at Fox 11, we were also able to make some visible changes this year.
Yes, we certainly were. The station took the big jump to high definition, or HD. Crews built a new set to take advantage of the switch, and that includes a large 2x2 array which sits behind the main desk. We use this to showcase video, photos, graphics, all to highlight our commitment to balanced news coverage. There are also 2 side monitors where our reporters can provide perspective to their stories. We also built a new severe weather center. Our meteorologists now have 5 monitors to help them forecast and track severe weather. Plus, the lights on the weather desk change as the severe weather index changes. So when the index is low, the lights are also green. Now, you can find out more about these stories and more stories every day on our website, fox11online.com. The site includes the latest breaking news, interactive extras, photo galleries, and web polls. Well, 2012 was certainly full of incredible and amazing stories.
A couple of them from Door County, where an 80-year-old woman was forced to make an emergency plane landing, to the state's largest home being put up for auction. We'll recall and remember some of the most talked about stories of the year coming up next.
And later, everyday people can do extraordinary things. We're going to take a look at some of those who are making a difference.